Good morning, and thank you so much for watching Sunday Kickoff. I'm Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Jerry Martinez, Walter Stringer, Kendall Whitley. What's going on, guys?
Week
Hey, week
11.
12, man. Well, week 11. I said week 12. Week 11 is going so fast. I'm thinking it's week 12. But hey, man, I'm just happy for this season to keep going like it's going, man.
Too much parody, man. We asked for parody this offseason. We wanted good parody.
Not like
We
this.
yeah, we're not getting it, but I think it's very interesting. Down the stretch, I think whatever we think you may think those top 7 seeds will look like in each conference, there's no telling what it's gonna look like come week 17 this season, week 18.
Well said. And how about the AFC East and the NFC East? I mean, who would have thought, man? I mean, for I thought it was gonna take I thought it would take the NFC East at least a couple of seasons to get into this kind of groove and shit. Oh, excuse my language.
They're getting the popping.
Well, you know what it is. It's the guys.
But I mean, aside from that, I mean, shit, we got some. There I go again, man. We just drop it.
Shit. Don't worry about it, man. It happens.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
shit happens, right? But yeah, man. I mean,
Blake even heard it.
Shit.
Shit happens, man. We're live. Anything can happen.
Shit. Therefore, you see, you're not by yourself. I said it. Shit. You're not by yourself.
Here we go.
Man.
yeah, this is fun, man. I love this stuff, man, so much. But I mean, getting back into it. I mean, there's so many games today that are so crucial, right? I mean, we got a bunch of teams that are sub 500. They're not even 500, right?
I think it's just gonna be the word of the day. Shit.
Man, I don't want to hear this shit right now.
I love it. I love it, man.
But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of interesting matchups. Week 11. But let's talk about the Thursday night football game between Tennessee and Green Bay.
That's more common.
Tennessee going to Green Bay and dominating essentially the Packers 27-17. Derrick Henry rushed for a touchdown. He threw for a touchdown. In Green Bay, I mean, essentially they're done.
I think so, man.
Yeah, I think
Look.
the Titans came out and they set the tone early. They let the Packers know what they want to do. They ran even though Derrick Henry, you look at the box score, he didn't have that many rushing yards, but he had a couple
87
big
yards.
runs. He didn't get over 100 whatnot. He had a couple nice runs at the end. Tannehill looked pretty good. Tannehill looked really good. I didn't expect him to look as good as he did. There was a Treylon Burke sighting, so he played really well. That Titans defense got out to Roger, but that's not saying a lot against Green Bay this year. Their offense is a mess. Christian Watson is playing good for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, he kind of filtered there. He even said after the game, he threw some wobbles or whatnot. He wasn't himself or whatnot. He was overthrowing some passes to Watkins and to Lazard or whatnot. Like it was a mess there for Green Bay, and I actually thought the Titans were the better team going into it. So I thought they would beat them by a little more than what they did in just 10 points. But I thought the Titans were the better team. Just because you have Aaron Rodgers don't mean you're going to win every week. And the Titans came in there and they proved that. I'm just glad they did get their wide receivers involved in the game and whatnot. Nice dump pass for Derrick Henry on the red zone. Little trick, but I like that. That was pretty good. But I think Green Bay you almost put a fork in there. I think they're done.
Yeah,
They're not catching Minnesota. I know that.
I'll tell you this: they got the Eagles next, then they got the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings, and Lions. So I mean, the Eagles right there. That's a tough matchup. Dolphins. I mean, there I go. And Dolphins are 7-3 in the AFC East, and then the Vikings, they're 8-1 right now. So yeah, I think overall it's easy to say, go ahead and stick a fork in them, right? But it just shows you, is there something with these older quarterbacks that it takes them a lot to motivate them to win? Because look at Aaron Rodgers going out there and being a superhero last week and defeating the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that shouldn't be the case, A-Rod. You need to bring your A game every single week. You want to be playing at this level. So, the same thing goes for Tom Brady, man. I mean, you can't just you can't wait on a week to week matchup, hoping that you have enough motivation to come away with that win and do some plays to win that game. So I just feel bad for the fan base more than anything. But at the same token, could it be Titans the actual year for the Titans? You know what I mean? Because they've been playing some good ball lately, man. It's been ugly, but man, they're a tough team. Shoot, the Cowboys have them next too, up ahead.
What do you think? Well, Packers done.
Yeah, I think for the most part, just taking a quick look at the AFC, Titans they're 7-3 right now. It's interesting from Green Bay's perspective because this isn't the first time this season we saw a team kind of out physical them. You know, Tennessee did it. We saw the Giants do it. Detroit pretty much did it a couple weeks ago. Dallas did it for about 3.5 quarters. I think not Dallas, but Green Bay is just at a point in time right now where Aaron just can't get it done by himself anymore. And even if you look at what Christian Watson has going on, yeah, he's making some splash plays. He's playing better these previous 4 or 5 games. But those drops he have are monsters. Those missed time drops that he have are monsters. And you can have all the splash plays you want, but if you're dropping one of every 4 or 5 passes that comes your way, there's a problem. So it seems to me their passing game right now is just all splash plays or nothing.
Yeah,
they need to figure out a better way to keep that running game going though, for sure.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but they got 2 good solid running backs.
Yeah,
and for whatever reasons they can't get things going. So look, I mean, Aaron, he looks like he's done. Honestly, maybe he's just done for the year. He just looks tired. He looks like he's out of it. Like he's not really into the game anymore. And look, Tennessee's a physical football team. What do? They play defense and they run the football, and that's what they did. And Ryan Tannehill, look, we got to give Ryan Tannehill his respect too, because a lot of people were mentioning that when Malik Willis got his opportunity to come in, that he was going to lose his starting job. That's not going to happen. Malik Willis is not ready yet. Ryan Tannehill has got to be the quarterback for this football team moving forward because he gives them the best chance to win.
Yeah, Walt and I were talking. Malik Willis is he needs a little bit more to go. Right now, this Ryan Tannehill's this is his team. He doesn't need to make special throws. All he needs to do is just make the right pass at the right time. Rely on Derrick Henry. Look at the way they use Derrick Henry, right? I mean, look, that's very clever game planning. And like you said, whenever you have the ability, scheme up Treylon Burks, because look, Treylon Burks looks like he has a real future in the NFL. So who knows? Maybe we are looking at AJ Brown's clone right now in a Treylon Burks. So
yeah, 7 receptions for 111 yards,
yep.
And essentially the ice catching play at the end of the little play action fake.
Sure.
Caught it. So Treylon Burks, he came back off of IR and he had a good game.
Yeah, man. Titans are a scary team right now. I'm telling you right now.
Same old Titans.
So what now?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I said
that's not a bad thing, but does this Titan team look any different from any Titan team we've seen the past 3-4 seasons?
Looks the same.
They're just a tough football team.
Yeah.
That's what they are, man. That's what they are.
Their defense looks a tad better than those previous teams, though.
And they're down a corner.
Huh?
And they were down a linebacker or a corner on Thursday.
Their defense, they look a lot better. They just held Mahomes 2 weeks ago on Sunday Night Football, and then Tannehill played. If half of what Tannehill plays that game, they win that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a football team that almost won their divisional round game against the Bengals. They just had a couple bad plays, but it's a good football team.
But right now, the Titans have the Bengals, Eagles, Jags, Chargers, Titans, Cowboys, and Jaguars to finish their season off. Their schedule's not easy either, man.
It's not easy, Jerry, but essentially their division's already wrapped up.
Yeah.
They're going to win the division.
Yeah, true that.
They're at least going to host a playoff game.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're right there with
prime.
They're almost like the Vikings at this point. Like, how the hell did the Vikings get to this point? You know what I mean?
We'll get to the Vikings in a bit, though. But talking about Green Bay, so what's next for them? Obviously, mathematically, you're still alive in the playoff chase, but essentially, it's over for you guys. So what do you do?
Shut down A-Rod. Shut down A-Rod. See what you got in Jordan Love, man. You need to. I mean, you if anything, you got A-Rod next year. You still got him under contract, but you need to see if you have Jordan Love, if he's the future, really, really. So might as well turn it over to him, see what he could do.
How do you sell that to Aaron though?
You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't sell it to him.
You gave
But-
this man a lot of money, and he's also there to win.
This is
But
a
he's hurt
business.
too.
The NFL is a business, Walt. It's a business.
Yeah, but we've seen over the past few seasons.
So what
how
was the point of bringing
they
him
handle
back
Aaron
last-
Rodgers
yeah.
with kid gloves anyway? So they're kind of
And I'm pretty-
intimidated by him.
Man, his body language doesn't even look
Hey.
good, bro.
They asked him, so where you guys going after this?
home?
I'm going home. Keep his ass home. You're staying home. You're not going to the playoffs. You're staying home. You ain't going nowhere. But the way he answered it to me was kind of like eye-opening. I was like, damn, like he's really done.
I told this to Kendall. I go, I don't think A-Rod comes back next year, or Tom Brady for that fact. I think this is the end. I mean, these
think Rodgers comes back. I don't think Brady will. Because Rodgers, only reason why I'm
Hey.
saying Rodgers comes back because of the contract they gave him.
I don't know, but Brady's 2-0 since the divorce. So hey, he might come
And
back
he
next-
don't. Brady
I'm
ain't
not
got
rolling him out not to play next year.
So what you're saying is for Tom Brady is
That's exactly what I'm saying.
return to the Mac.
Yeah, it's
But,
2-0.
Anyways, getting back to football. Man, I hope you guys are tuning in. I hope you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. We love you. We want to grow with you. But anyways, getting back on subject. Tom Brady and A-Rod. I mean, I don't know. I just say at this point, you know, I would have to have a conversation with A-Rod. Hey, let's save your arm for next year. Let's see what the kid has. Let's throw him in there and shoot. If Jordan Love looks good, I mean, now you know you can keep him long term because they're gonna have to re-up him too. I think he's coming up in his 5th-year option, if I'm not mistaken.
So you gonna tank?
I mean,
Because if you can't win with Aaron, you're not winning with Love either.
yeah, but you gotta see what you have in Love. I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna let Love walk in the streets next year?
But does he have the best opportunity to put his best foot forward, like with this receiving core?
That's exactly what I was about to say. If Rodgers can do so much with this, you put Jordan Love in there, what is he going to do? Rodgers, I mean,
He can run.
But the thing is,
Just saying,
this is the worst time to do it, though. And if we go back to the Tennessee situation, Malik Willis being put in the situation he was put in at the point in time he was put in was the absolute worst for him. If they would have put Malik Willis in week 1 or week 2, it would have been different.
I think it would have been the same, Walt.
No, I mean, he would have had the opportunity to pull some razzle dazzle, catch some defenses off guard early.
last
in the
time
season.
we seen Jordan Love, I think it was against Kansas City.
Kansas
last year.
City,
Yeah.
and he
He
looked
looked
terrible.
It was awful. And
He has
Stephen
no
A.
snaps.
It was awful.
He has no snaps. If he
I-
goes
I-
in right now, it's terrible.
I'll say this: if they're still mathematically alive in the playoffs, Chase, they're going to keep playing Aaron. Once it's over, and it might be over next week.
tough
I think it's
situation.
over.
I mean, look, everybody thinks it's over. I think, but if there's still a mathematical chance for them to get in, they're
Yeah.
going to play Aaron. But he looks. I mean, besides he looks like not interested in the game and whatnot. I think that thumb injury is bothering him.
There could be some truth to that, but shoot, they got the Eagles next, man. So that's a tough matchup right there.
You know what? Also, too, during the game, they're mentioning that Aaron looks skinny, like he's not as big built like he was before. So whatever diet he's on or anything, maybe he changes that in the offseason. He comes back. I don't think I don't think he wants to leave football in this situation. Like he's playing like shit. I swear today, if you guys don't know yet, he just hasn't looked good. I don't think he wants to leave or retire on that note.
It's that ayahuasca that he's taking in the offseason.
Hey, you saw that jersey last week that they had the name of the thing in the back of it? You guys see it?
Yeah.
Which of the Cowboy one or the A-Rod one?
No, the A-Rod one.
Oh, okay. I
That
saw.
was a Cowboy game.
Okay.
I was like, what? I was like, what's that even mean? And then I was like, hey, that's the thing he took or whatever. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, the ayahuasca, that stuff that makes a trip. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, look, Packers, they got to get their things together, man. If not, I mean, it's already over, but they're still in the chase. So, we'll see what happens with that. Now, another team that's struggling, the Buffalo Bills. What is going on with the Bills? They lost a heartbreaker last weekend. That was the game of the year. And they included the catch the best catch ever to me by Justin
Nah,
Jefferson.
go that
I
way.
think it's what's going on with Josh Allen. Josh Allen been struggling mainly in the red zone the
He
past
got the
couple
most
weeks.
picks in the NFL.
Yeah, in the red, he's been in the red zone. He has the most pick. He's been awful the past couple of weeks. They get leads. Even the Green Bay game, he didn't like. I mean, he had a couple splash plays. They won, but I forgot to score that game. But he threw a couple picks that game or whatnot. It's like what he like. He throws these passes like, what the hell you doing, Josh? You know what I mean? That's what it be like sometimes when he throwing the ball. Like he's good for one a game. Like I was telling Jerry earlier this week, but yeah, I think it's more so Josh. I think their defense is fine. They still got Von Miller. They're gonna get healthier. Tre'Davious White, he's gonna come back. Poyer, I don't know if Poyer's playing today, but they're gonna get some guys back who I think defense they'll be fine. It's just like Josh Allen just makes some of these. He makes the wild plays, and then he throws a head scratcher here and there. So they got to get that figured out. I think they'll be fine. I think the best thing happened to them was moving that game from Buffalo, where the snow weather with the Browns coming in. That would have definitely gave the Browns a heads up there with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt coming in there. Now they get in their dome, turf field or whatnot in Detroit. I think the Buffalo gonna come out and they're gonna light up on Cleveland. We just saw what Miami did to the Browns last week. Buffalo gonna put it up today. I'll be shocked if Josh Allen's struggles continue. I know they should win this game big time today.
Hey, what a scene though there in Buffalo, man. That snow is crazy, man. I mean, that is crazy. But going back to what Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen is either he's gonna either win it for you or he's gonna be the reason why you lose it. I mean, for the most part, it looks like Devin Singletary looks like a good option to be a stable running back. But for whatever reason, Josh Allen just is Josh Allen, and that's what you're gonna get. So I have a question for you guys. Who would you if you had a situation right where you need a young quarterback, would you pick Joe Burrow or would you pick Josh Allen, and why?
I would go with Josh Allen. I feel like more upside there with Josh Allen. He can run. He can move in the pocket. I know I just got on him by his picks, but he got a big arm. Burrow don't have the biggest arm, and I think the upside long term is better with Josh Allen. You know, when he can move, he can just do more. You can create more stuff. You know, Joe Burrow is gonna be a statue in the quarter in the pocket. He's not going nowhere. He'll run, but that's not what he wanted to do. Now, but no, I know I just said that long term. Though, those injuries that Josh Allen's taking, the way they use him, they could hurt him long term. I do get that, but I do feel like you get more with Josh Allen. You just get more of the package with Josh.
I would go with Josh Allen as well. Imagine if Josh Allen had Joe Mixon at running back.
For sure. Josh Allen, dual threat, easy. Blake Gardner, thank you. Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna go Joe Burrow just because I think if you give Joe Burrow a healthy or a not a healthy, let's say you give him a legitimate offensive line, I think that the upside with Joe Burrow is a little bit better because you know that he's not going to make those boneheaded mistakes. I think that's what Josh Allen is he's a playmaker, man. Like, and the thing is, you got to accept it, man. You got to accept the flaws, man. You got to accept the ups and downs that Josh Allen's going to bring you, and it could very well cost the Buffalo Bills a championship, man. They could literally lose a Super Bowl because of his playmaking style, So give me Joe Burrow.
Nah, I'm gonna take Josh Allen. Cause I think at the end of the day, man, Josh has more to his physical skill set than Joe has. Josh has the ability, like I said, he's a playmaker. Him, Mahomes, those guys who can easily get you an 80-yard touchdown, 70-yard touchdown. He's the technician more, but Josh can win it with his legs. He can win it with his arms. Josh enables you to open up the playbook a lot more.
I think a lot of people, what they're not talking about Buffalo struggles is that Brian Daboll's not there anymore.
Well, hey, great point, man. I mean, look at the way he got the Giants to bro right now. So,
and Ken Dorsey's done a fine job, but he's not Brian Daboll.
Yeah. True. All great topics. I just think that right now, I mean, we can't count the Buffalo Bills out. We can't.
No, you can't. I mean, but essentially today is like the perfect start to turning the season around. And I'm not saying like the season's lost, but I mean, we had really high expectations for this football team. They were going to play on Thanksgiving Day, so I think they're going to stay in Detroit. So I think this might be a good time to bond and fix some things that are going wrong for Buffalo. So yeah, we'll see the trend. if they start winning some football games and whatnot. But look, they're in a tough division, so they got to start winning. They cannot afford to lose. Essentially, whatever hopes he had of hosting the AFC Championship game, they're essentially gone already. Because Kansas City, I don't see them losing too many games either anymore. But we'll see.
I think
And
Buffalo can
they
win
got a
on the
tough
road,
schedule
though.
coming.
They do.
They got a tough schedule coming up too.
Yeah, I mean, well, Buffalo's part of everybody else's tough schedule too. Yeah, I think overall Buffalo's going to be
Well said.
okay, man. They lost to an 8-1 team. Well, they're 8-1 now. They lost to a good team. I think when you're considered the odds-on favorite by Vegas and a whole lot of football fans since the start of the season, before the season started, whenever you have any hiccup, it's going to be the end of the world. You know, they lost to Minnesota in overtime, and it took some huge plays.
Some calls that went their way.
Yeah.
That phony catch, it wasn't a catch. And
Yeah,
they
so I
reviewed
mean,
it.
you know, it happens. I think at the end of the day, Buffalo still has defense. They can still run the ball. They still know who they are. We may have issues with who they are because I still think they should be able to run the ball a lot better without Josh
But you
Allen.
can't tell me Buffalo will not love the last game of the year at Orchard Park. You can't. I know they're good on the road, but they will love that game in their house rather than going to Kansas
Everybody.
City.
I think
Yeah.
But more with this team, Walt, just because the way the season's ended for them the last couple of years.
Yeah, they would want it. They would want to be in Orchard Park, and you look at the common thing with
Yeah,
Buffalo loss.
but
When they play Miami. Look at the common thing. They play Miami, a physical defense that punch you in the mouth and gets after you. Play the Jets, physical defense. Minnesota, okay defense, but they won that in overtime. You get physical with Buffalo, punch them in the mouth early, knock Josh Allen around. You can get them.
okay, so let me ask y'all this. If you take a look at the rest of the AFC right now, let's say, hypothetically, Buffalo doesn't win the division. Let's say Miami wins the division, Buffalo gets one of those other seeds. You don't think Buffalo can go play at Tennessee and beat Tennessee?
Hold on. I think they can beat Tennessee, but I think the worst matchup for Buffalo in the AFC is the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Or the Chiefs?
They can beat no for
Well, we
anybody.
know that. We know that already,
Hold on.
though.
Check this out. I think they can go to Tennessee. They can go to Tennessee and win.
Of course
Tennessee,
they can beat Tennessee, but who else?
But
the division winners.
But they're not beat. They don't match up good, Baltimore. That's not a good. I know they beat them up about a month or so ago, but that's not a good matchup. And then Baltimore's got better on defense. Baltimore's a punch you in the mouth, blue collar team, and on defense
I don't think Baltimore can throw the ball on Buffalo though. That's gonna be a huge issue. If they can't throw the ball on Baltimore,
the Jets couldn't do it a few weeks ago. Zach Wilson didn't win that game a couple weeks ago. It was the running game.
Yeah, but that's Zach though. That's Zach though.
But Baltimore will give Buffalo fits. They can beat Kansas City.
Baltimore got
Kansas City scared them.
Baltimore got to prove it in the playoffs too, though.
They played Buffalo a couple weeks back. They were leading essentially the whole game to the fourth quarter. So
yep, the Chiefs don't. The Bills are not scared of the Chiefs. They know they can go and they can win that game. They can just outscore.
They haven't done it in the playoffs though.
But they know. But but Buffalo would rather play Kansas City than go to Baltimore and play Baltimore. I know they would.
Let's look at Baltimore's schedule, right? Panthers today, Ravens. They'll have the Jags, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Browns, the Falcons, the Steelers, and the Bengals. Like their schedule is.
I don't see them losing another game. I'll be honest with you. Maybe the Cincinnati game.
Who, Baltimore?
They're
going to lose now.
I think maybe if they lose, it's probably going to be one, maybe two games at most.
Yeah, they got Carolina today, I think. Baker Mayfield's back starting.
Oh, yeah, we ain't worried about that one, bro. It's over for Carolina.
Hey, Baker and Kyler Murray, they're both trash, bro. For real, man.
Hey, I read a report, too, this week that the team some of the players wanted Sam Darnold to be the starting quarterback.
Wow, that says a lot right there.
But, hey, one little nugget on the Baltimore and Carolina. Baker has historically played pretty good against Baltimore when he's back in Cleveland. He has. And I was going to say this for later when we pick what game stands out to us. This guy here, he's had 2 months to sit, about a month to sit out. He was in the division with Baltimore with the Browns. He has played good against Baltimore. He has.
I understand that, but Baltimore's coming off a bye week, so essentially 2 weeks to prepare for this football team. I just don't see them losing.
Baker coming off a bye month. He's been out for about a month or so.
He's been out for about a year, bro. So
yeah. So, but he has played good against Baltimore now. Remember, just keep that in mind today. Remember last year, Sunday Night Football.
What's up, Walt? You shaking your head over there?
No, I'm listening to y'all.
Man, sorry, man. We're clowning on your pick to win the division, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I thought the defense. The defense has been fine. They just still haven't solved the quarterback position.
Sounds like the Colts, right?
Sounds like hey, but you know what? The worst part about Carolina situation is the quarterback they drafted at Ole Miss. His name is escaping right now. Yeah, he got hurt, so you don't know really what you got. So if you end up with a high draft pick, what do you do?
I don't think Corral ever plays a game for them, man.
I like Corral, man. I don't know.
He came into the league with a lot of baggage, though.
He had a drinking issue.
And
multiple things, but he's young. He's a young dude, so
they're probably gonna have like a top 5 pick. So if Stroud is there, they're gonna snatch him up.
I will say this, man. People forget that Matt Corral was right there in neck and neck with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, man. Like people forget that. I mean, he was right there in the Elite 11. I mean, he was right there. So he's right there as far as his play is right there. I understand he went through a little bit of a depression, but I mean, look at all that journey that he went through, man. I mean, he committed to Florida and then he transferred and then he had to sit. You know what I mean? So I mean. His season, he couldn't get going, man. He really couldn't get going and playing. So obviously, yeah, that stuff kind of that baggage. Yeah, I understand that. But if you could get him to play some ball, he has a hell of an arm, man. That's a strong arm.
Yeah, that and the fact that he's still very raw.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But it would have been a really good.
I'm just saying, like what Fidel was saying, it would be nice to see what you have in quarterback with Matt Corral. It would have been nice. I mean. Yeah, I know that he's going to have a bunch of interceptions. They're growing pains for any rookie quarterback. I mean, look at Malik Willis, great example. I mean, but still, at least Malik Willis got to see the feel of the NFL, right? Like how it feels to be an NFL quarterback. And now he knows what he needs to improve in the offseason. So, Malik Willis, I don't think right now would be a good starter. Maybe there could be some package plays that they could include, right? To kind of get if let's say the Russian attack get stale, you could probably get Malik. Huh?
No, I'm saying that's a good idea.
I'm just saying you could probably bring him in like slowly, like have some, package plays for him just to kind of get him back in the swing. And then the offseason, you kind of work with him, see if maybe there's a quarterback coach out there that could actually work with him. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it would have been ideal if you would have saw what Corral had. But he's injured, obviously, so you don't know what you got. So my question is, for the new coaching regime that's going to come in, what do you do if you get a high draft pick? You're probably going to want to draft the quarterback.
Yeah. And then I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, Steve Wilkes, I mean, he looks like a good leader. I don't know if they're
come back, Jared. I see David Tepper going after a big name.
Yeah. I think I was going to say, knowing David Tepper, he's going to probably try to make a serious push for legit.
And then they're gonna have a head. They gotta get a head coach too. Because Wilkes ain't gonna be there. They gotta get a head coach.
But this team has got good draft capital, and I'm not saying that the Saints would trade the coach in the division and Sean Payton, but
I don't see that happening. They won't let it. They won't do it.
But David Tepper, he's gonna get a big name. He's gonna get a big name head coach, and whoever comes in, they're gonna see the scenario. They're gonna have a lot of draft capital. Salary cap next year, I don't know where they're at, but I imagine they're going to have a pretty good
and
amount.
The Panthers are not a bad team. They got talent. I feel they're a quarterback. Yeah, there's some bad teams out
on the defensive side of the football. They got a lot of talent.
Yeah, they got a little bit on offense.
They got building blocks also on the offensive line.
Yeah, if they get a tight end, you can find your running back. You don't have running back don't have to be their top priority. But
Deontay Foreman, he's been rushing the ball better than Christian McCaffrey was for this football team.
Yeah, I think if they get a tight end, maybe another receiver or two. I mean, Carolina, a coach is going to knock the doors down to get that job. Keep an eye on Dan Quinn from Dallas. I think he's a good fit for that job.
Ooh, I heard the Broncos are going to start making a strong.
No, it looks like the Broncos are probably going to go out. Nate Hackett, he's not coming back. I mean,
I thought the Broncos were going to get Quinn last year. I thought.
Yeah, they were about to.
I thought so too. But he deserves it, man. He deserves a second opportunity. I think what he's done with Dallas is pretty good. I don't know, you guys tune in. I have a second channel, right? The Cowboy Cast. but we actually broke down the situation with Dallas. Why have teams been able to run through Dallas? And his point was very clear, it was simple and clear and very decisive. He just said, "Look, man, we got a bunch of overachievers on defense. They're trying to make the big splashy play, and when that happens, this is when you start missing opportunities and you allow these big gashes, these big runs." So it's just going to be, we need to be a little bit more disciplined. And we're going to take this approach against the Vikings. We're going to make sure that, that people are not running these same running plays. So when you hear a defensive coordinator addressing the situation and saying that he has the right personnel and saying that he has the right game plan to get these guys to play disciplined football, a lot is riding on what he said, especially during this big game against the Vikings. I mean, Vikings are red hot right now.
And let's talk about that game real quick, Jerry. So, big game today, obviously. Dallas traveling to Minnesota, playing a red-hot Minnesota Vikings football team. The Cowboys, they cannot afford to lose many more games, Jerry.
I'll tell you this much right now. They got to win out, man. They have to win out because as it is, Thanksgiving against the Giants, that's going to be a tough one. Then we still got the Eagles down the line, and we got the Titans. So you're absolutely right. Right now, this is do or die for the Cowboys. I'll tell you this. There is a very strong possibility the Cowboys may miss the playoffs, man. They may miss the playoffs. And I will tell you this. I don't know how much more can the Joneses put up with this. And I'll tell you this, after we that's why you guys got to stay tuned, man. The Cowboys, we dissect the actual play calling of Kellen Moore. We didn't understand that. It's a very complex freaking offense. I mean, literally everybody that's running routes, you have to it's a read option route. So this is insane, man. This is a very complex thing. So that's why you see Dak. Sometimes people are like, Dak takes forever to throw the ball. Well, yeah. I mean, the reason why is because he has to see if the wide receiver saw what he saw on defense.
The route develop.
Huh?
The route can develop.
Yeah.
This game, yeah. Go ahead, Jerry.
No. I was just trying to end it with. That's why it looks like Dak sometimes holds the ball a little bit longer because he's waiting for that. To see if the wide receiver did what he does, and that's why it looks like Dak sometimes stares down his receivers. He's already saw the defense, what the defense gave him, so he knows where he wants to go with the ball. So that's I'm just saying. I'm not picking Dak, but Dak.
It's my quarterback.
I'm rolling with my quarterback, man. I mean, I have no option, but you got to get behind your quarterback, and you know what? It's amazing that Dak has been able to put, learn this offense, put it on his back, and that's why you see, the big plays and whatnot, and you see the big the gaudy yards that the Cowboys can put up. I mean, hell, a season ago, the Cowboys had one of the I think they were ranked, what was it, number one offense for a long span, up until I think it was the Broncos, was it?
This game here. Go ahead.
Good.
This game here today is a tale of two teams. The Cowboys coming off an embarrassing. Well, I won't say embarrassing, but they should have won that game last week against Green Bay.
Should have.
Vikings coming off a big win emotionally last week in overtime against the Buffalo Bills with the Justin Jefferson catch or whatnot, probably the catch of the year between that one and George Pickens earlier this year. The Cowboys, the 2020 season, I believe the Cowboys lost that game during the COVID year. Andy Dalton was the quarterback on the CeeDee Lamb catch. I think they lost that game in Minnesota, I believe, or did they win that? I'm not sure. But the Cowboys have went to Minnesota. This is the third straight year going to Vikings. Cowboys won the game last year with Cooper Rush or whatnot. And Mark Cooper and CeeDee Lamb had a pretty good game. Trayvon Diggs, that's a good matchup. We're gonna talk about that pregame on the Cowboys cast. I'll be on that later on. If my Patriots lose, I don't know how I'm gonna be mad. But anyway, that's gonna be we'll talk about later on the Cowboys cast during the pregame show. But are the Vikings, have they mentally got themselves back together to get ready for the Cowboys this week? Because that was a big win last week in Buffalo, an emotional win. Kirk Cousins kind of got the muck off his back a little bit. He struggles in comeback games. So Cowboys coming in angry, Vikings coming in like now in the NFC. I mean, it's still a big game for Minnesota because they're tied with the Eagles now with one loss or whatnot. But big game, emotional side for the Vikings, and the Cowboys coming in angry. I can't wait for this clash later on.
Hey, look, they got to keep it rolling because Thursday might be a shirt and hat game. And what I mean by that, the division might be wrapped up on Thanksgiving night.
The Vikings game? The Vikings?
Yep.
Well, they play the Patriots, so.
Yeah, but they're at home, and I think they only have one more road game. The rest of the
Yeah.
schedule, if I'm not mistaken. So Minnesota's in a pretty good place.
If this game here today is huge for them. Then
Oh, we got
Yeah.
Mr. Know That Cowboy Nation win the man, bro. What's up? What happened on Monday? We didn't go live, man. Don't let the
Memorial
Packers
Drive.
you.
My
Don't
boy.
let the Packers take the joy out of you. Come on, bro. Let me hang in.
That's my guy right there.
Hey, but look,
yes, sir.
big game today, and Dallas. They got to get their shit together.
Yeah, they do. The word of the day, right? But no,
So
yeah, no.
Dallas,
think-
Dallas needs this game more than Minnesota does.
And Zeke is playing. I know he's probably not gonna. I know Zeke's not probably gonna get his 20 carries a game, but I will say this. It's good to have Zeke back, and now you can focus on the run and shoot. We're good, man.
And Odell Beckham will be visiting the Cowboys Giants after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're still on the Odell watch. We don't know where he's going to sign yet.
This seems like the decision from LeBron James a few years ago.
Well, I mean, as a Cowboy fan, I mean, who wouldn't want Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean, he's a big name. You know, he's one of those guys we saw last year. He's not coming into any team expecting to be the number one. I think we saw what he did with the Rams. It was actually it was great to see that maturation in Odell, and he's looking for a place where he wants to be wanted, and the Cowboys all.
But one thing, since he left the Giants, he hasn't badmouthed the Giants. He hasn't talked bad about the Giants. He's always. I remember he said he wanted to go back to the Giants.
He might be going back.
I remember he posted. He did say that he would love to go back. And Saquon Barkley, they like brothers. Like he would go back there. He still has a home in New York. He said he wants to stay somewhere long term. I can see him staying in New York long term.
I think right there, Memorial Drive, what you just said, I think it's absolutely right. Whoever comes away with the win on Thursday, that's who he signs with, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this.
I
will say this: if whoever wins that game on Thursday, shoot, man, they're right there. I mean, they can either knock each other out of contention. Well, no, I don't think they would knock each other out of contention because they're actually the two stronger teams in the NFC. NFC is still trash, man. So,
man, I just think this is a huge measuring stick game for Dallas. They need to win. It's not enough to just keep saying you that team or we're this team and we're this good, and then you lose in all of those measuring stick games. You lost to Tampa. You already lost a measuring stick game to Philly. You don't want to lose to an 8-1 Minnesota team. So it reaches a point in time you got to actually prove it on the field.
Well,
it's not enough to just keep talking about it.
Well, the thing is, that the Cowboys are serious contenders. Well,
they got to prove it, man.
Bro,
I'm talking about the big games. I'm not talking about.
I'm talking about Will McClay has done a phenomenal job of adding the right players. No. Yeah, on the field. Yeah, I just think it comes down to the coaching, man. It just comes down. I'll tell you this: if this shit doesn't work for the Cowboys, they don't make the playoffs. Good luck, Mike McCarthy, and good luck, Kellen Moore. And you know what? Good luck to Dan Quinn too. I'll tell you this: they're going to bring in Sean Payton. They'll give up the third round pick that they need to. They bring in Sean Payton, and you know what? Shoot, next year for the next 3 years, I'm telling you, it's going to get loud, and everybody's going to really hate the Cowboys, man.
The only reason had the Cowboys not beat the Vikings last year, and when Kirk Cousins and that team played against, when Dak Prescott missed that game, and they played so bad that game. I only think they put up 20 points that game. That was not a good game for Kirk. Had they not won that game last year, I'd pick Dallas to win that. But based off the simple fact Minnesota played so bad against them last year around the same time, I think Kirk and the Vikings, that's probably been a message for them this week. They want to avenge that loss from last year because that was embarrassing. Everybody picked the Vikings to win it. Nobody gave the Cowboys a shot to win that game last year.
It was a holy night.
Yeah, I know it's two different teams. I think just off of that, Minnesota's going to come in a little Friday because that was just last year.
Oh, hold on. Great point, Kendall. But doesn't it look like Kirk Cousins just closes his eye and just throws it up and just hopes that fucking Justin Jefferson comes down with the ball? Man, I'm really out of character today, man. Shoot,
not all the time. Not all the time, but I mean, when you got a special receiver, every quarterback does that.
Hey, man, look, we got to get Kirk his respects. He's been playing hell of a ball, man.
I'm telling you, look at it. Minnesota when you go back and watch him.
Look,
he's closing his eyes and throwing the ball up in the air. He can't do that.
Minnesota's 8-1, man. They 8-1.
Look, to me, Kevin O'Connell and McDaniels, not Josh McDaniels, McDaniel from Miami. To me, they're the two that I think are going to win Coach of the Year. One of the two.
Man, we can go through the Vikings schedule. Look, I mean, I understand the Vikings lost to Philly. They lost to Philly, but if we go through the teams that they've beaten some pretty decent teams.
Unknown caller.
My bad.
Unknown caller making a guest appearance on the show.
It's my soundboard, man. I have the Bluetooth on, and I am turning it off. Man, they happen to be live on the Cowboy Cast. How embarrassing! Go for it. You guys are good.
No, I was just saying, as far as Minnesota and some of the wins they do have, they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins are, 7-3?
Yep.
Please, yeah, they beat the Dolphins.
Hey, but Miami's undefeated when Tua was playing the full game.
I understand, but they still beat them.
I understand that.
You know, they still beat them, so they got that. They got the asses handed to them by Philly back in week 2.
Week 2 seems like last year at this point, bro. Like, it seems like a really long time ago.
Yeah, so I mean, man, if you're 9-10 games into the season and you're sitting on one loss, that's not a fluke. You know, you can only beat whoever's in front of you on your schedule, and you can only lose to whoever's in front of you on your schedule. So,
and that's a double-edged sword you're talking about. Well, because NFC, the teams have been lackluster, man. I mean, it's wide open in the NFC.
But
still.
Minnesota's good enough to be 8-1. So,
look at who they played. Look at who they played. Let's go back and look at who they played, man. A lot of those teams are you know, you're talking about teams that are not even in contention, man. They're not even at 500 too. So it's easy when you have that kind of layout, but when your schedule gets tougher, especially towards the back end, that's when you really find out. So I will tell you this: if you know, I think the Cowboys are 1.5 favored.
Yeah. 4.5.
And I think the spread is at 48 points in today's game. But I'll tell you this much right now. I think that the Cowboys coaching staff, Mike McCarthy, I know he addressed Kellen Moore's tendencies. So, you know, you're talking about offense that's going to come in and they're going to make sure that they run the ball and they have a even split as far as rushing and passing. The defense, obviously, they addressed what we talked about the rushing attack. Stopping the Russian attack. If they're able to do that, they shut down the Vikings. Then we know that the Vikings are also phonies. And then, you know, maybe that puts the Cowboys in the right projection that they need to. But it's a big game. I know. I sound like a homer, but
no, this is what I don't get, man. Why is it that whenever a team, not just Minnesota, why is it that, because we heard the same thing about Philly when Philly lost to Washington. Why is it that whenever you lose, you're exposed? Or whenever you lose, you're a phony all of a sudden.
Well,
why can't you just lose a game?
because
that would make the Cowboys triple phonies if that's the case. So they got 3 losses, or they could be on their way to it. We can't call a team with 1 loss a phony and a team with 2 or 3 losses isn't now. Let's be fair about it, Jerry.
I'm just saying, people, huh?
Excellent point.
Well, I'm just saying, man, the thing is that people are hyping up the Eagles to be like a Super Bowl, contender already.
They are.
Well, hold on a minute, man. Like last week I tried to tell you, man, they're phonies, and you're like, no, they're not, and boom, they lost. And then,
that makes them a phony because they lost to a division rival.
I didn't hear nothing from Walt, until
you heard from me. I told you.
I was like, I wonder if Walt is still my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I text me, Walt, what are you up to? Walt, how you doing today? Nothing. Until a couple
days. I'm telling you now.
He was too busy drinking the Busch Light with Tyler Heineke.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it says something that when you go down to the Commanders, I'm sorry, the last place team in the NFC East, when you go down to the Commanders and Tyler Heineke, saying.
Hey, they're playing with juice, man. They're playing with juice.
I'm just saying. The Commanders, nobody expected to come away with that win against the Eagles.
Hell no.
And you see what the Eagles are so desperate. What did they do?
Nobody expected it.
And Dominican Sue. You know what it reminds me of? They give me the vibes of the Rams. And where are the Rams at today?
But they won the chip last year.
But you're all in for 1 year. Like it's the Cowboys, they're in it for the long run. They're doing this money ball approach. I'll tell you this much right now. The way it's lined up, Dalton Schultz ain't gonna be with the Cowboys, but you know what? They got the Fergus shots, man. You know that's a name now. They're selling T-shirts to call Fergus shot.
Let me, Jerry. Let me ask you something. Would you prefer not winning championship or winning championship and then being?
Are you talking about the Cowboys?
Yes. Would you pick them to win a championship or for them to be like in the middle?
Are you talking about for an opportunity to get a Sean Payne coach? Are you talking?
No. I'm just talking about in general. So like you know how we talked about the Rams, they essentially went all in for last year. Would you prefer that or being in the middle of the pack?
I think there's a time and a place that you could do that, but you need to build your foundation, your core. Right now, the thing was our window had closed last season for the Cowboys. It closed, but with what Will McClay's able to do or what he's completed thus far is, man, he reopened up that Cowboys window, man. He gave us 3 more seasons, right? Because obviously we have Dak for a few more seasons. I'm just saying he gave us that window. Yeah, I know maybe there's going to be some players that have been with the Cowboys that are not going to be, and most notably it'd probably be Zeke, Dalton Schultz. But I tell you this, I trust what Will McClay and Stephen Jones are doing. I don't like the approach because I think there has to be a time where you have to burn some draft capital to get you that win. But I'll tell you this much right now: if the Cowboys lose and they don't make the playoffs, I won't be upset. Because you know what? That means that there's going to be some change. And I think that this is it for Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore show, man. And I'll tell you this. I think that the Joneses have built a strong relationship with Sean Payton. And I think that Sean Payton would actually be the right remedy. And you're going to see a completely different offense. You're going to see CeeDee Lamb now being talked about as one of the top wide receivers in the league in Sean Payton's offense. I mean, there's so many possibilities. So I'm not upset either way. I am hopeful that we can still make a strong push. I think that Mike McCarthy has done a phenomenal job with what he had handed to him at the beginning of this season and during the COVID season. I mean, he's had to deal with a lot of adversity, so I got to give respect to Mike McCarthy. But, you know, in looking at rounding everything out, I'm still hopeful the Cowboys can make a deep run. I honestly, man, at this point, though, I don't think we're going to – if we make the playoffs, we're probably one and done, man. I'm not lying to you, man.
Yeah, they got to take care of business today in Minnesota.
Hey, I just want to address something Jerry said that I don't find to be fact. That the Eagles were just thrown together. Now, they drafted a quarterback. That line's been together for years. They drafted a defensive tackle. They drafted a linebacker. They signed Bradbury in free agency. They traded for Darius Slay a couple years ago. So what was thrown together other than them signing a journeyman in Sue? Like, this was a team that was built from Miles Sanders and Scott being Boston Scott being over there. That's a team that was completely built. So how were they actually thrown together?
I'm just saying right now. I mean, look at
they signed Sue, one person,
and living.
But you're talking about signing Odell Beckham Jr. though. You're comparing signing Odell Beckham Jr. to signing Sue.
And then Linville Joseph, like, it just shows you they know that they got some holes in that defense, man.
Jerry, you're pushing your fears off on the Eagles.
I don't fear the Eagles, honestly. I don't fear the Eagles. I maybe the Giants. I got to respect the Giants, right? Because shoot, they're playing some good ball right now. But I still think that the Cowboys can. I'm very hopeful. I'm not giving anybody a prediction, but I feel very hopeful for the Dallas Cowboys. I think they will win this game. I think it's going to be a tough game for Thanksgiving because the turnaround it's horrible for all the teams that have to do it. I think that could really set the Cowboys back. The actual turnover as far as playing from Sunday to Thursday, and then from there, you know, the next week it doesn't get any hard. It doesn't get any easier for the Dallas Cowboys. Their schedule's tough up ahead, so it's a long uphill challenge for the Cowboys. But I love the Cowboys because it's must-see TV every single time you tune in on. That's why he hates them.
And just to wrap up the show, what's your guys' key matchup for week 11?
I'm going Panthers-Ravens. Like as I said earlier, Baker Mayfield has played good against Baltimore over his career in Cleveland. And yeah, I know Baltimore's coming off a bye, but Baker Mayfield's been inserted back into the start lineup to kind of get that Panthers offensive spark. So we'll see how he does that. That's an interesting match. A lot of people gonna pick Baltimore, but just keep an eye on that game.
How about the Patriots and the Jets, man? The Patriots have had the Jets number, but the Jets they're surprisingly in this position. But I mean, if the Patriots win, you're talking about all of them are 500 teams. You know what I'm saying? And that is crazy.
Well,
Man.
they're all 500 now.
Well, yeah, they're all 500, but I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy to see how stacked that division is.
Mhm.
It sucks to be a Patriots, a Patriots fan, and it sucks to be a Dolphins or the Bills, unless you're actually that team that's winning, right?
Please, let's get this done today, man. We need it.
I want you, Kendall.
What you got, Walt? You on mute.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so he said I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. I think they gave away a game week 1 to Pittsburgh, which could come back to haunt them. They're sitting at 5-4 right now. If they want to keep pace with Cincinnati, if they want to keep pace with the Ravens in that division and keep pace with everybody else in the AFC, they need to win today. They can't. I don't think they can afford to fall to 5-5 at this point in time in the season. 10 games of the season, so. Cincinnati's had a rough season so far. The offensive line has been questionable once again.
Very questionable.
A lot of people, a lot of NFL analysts have come out and questioned the Cincinnati Bengals offense and what their philosophy is with Joe Burrow and what they are when Jamar Chase isn't out there on the field. And when Chase isn't out there on the field, Joe Burrow does look very pedestrian. So I think if the Bengals want to have an opportunity to repeat and defend their AFC championship crown, they must win at Pittsburgh today. If they don't, I think they're finished.
Yeah, how about the Sunday Night Football matchup between the Chargers and the Chiefs? Essentially, this is the last opportunity for somebody in the AFC West to dethrone the Chiefs. I like the Chargers to win tonight. Keenan Allen's more than likely going to play. Mike Williams, I don't know, he might be still a week from playing, but it's a really big matchup in the AFC West.
These Chargers and Chiefs games always come down to the wire. They're always some of the fun. The past few years since Herbert's been in, even when they had Phillip Rivers, these Chargers and Chiefs.
Think about week 2 when Justin Herbert threw that pick 6.
Yeah, and that changed that game. I think Chargers gonna win that game.
Yeah,
but I think Chargers. I think I'm going with the Chargers tonight too. But I like these, and that game was flex. That game was flex until Sunday night. I forgot what the original scheduled game was, but that game was
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, well, Chargers and Chiefs is much better than that.
Hey, but shout out and anybody listening, you gotta tune into Walt's, especially during the draft, man. Walt called it. He said Justin Herbert's gonna be special, and man, with Herbert, I feel confident with Herbert or the Chargers anytime, man. I like to pick them. They're always a pick 'em.
And then we had a question from Blake, kind of random, but who is the top wide receiver 2 right now? You guys were talking about OBJ, and when you think about
in Dallas, he talking about with the Cowboys. Who's the top? Who's number 2 you got in Dallas?
I mean, I will. You can't. MG he's a special player, but man, obviously I think that ACL is still holding him back from being able to be that playmaker he used to be. Ultimately, I think they're in Dallas. I think right now, pass catcher, I would have to be Dalton Schultz, but wide receiver, they don't have a clear cut wide receiver 2. So yeah, I think OBJ would be a nice addition.
And we got some injury update from Blake. Mike Williams is expected to play.
Damn, that's good, man. That is really good.
And Chiefs are dealing with some injuries too. McCole Hardman just went on IR, so he'll be out for at least 4 weeks. But yeah, we'll see. But with all that being said, thank you everyone out there for watching. Great slate of games today. We'll talk to you guys on Thanksgiving morning. We'll be on here 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 Eastern. 10 Eastern. Sorry, I get all the times I'm all confused now. Time.
Shit, it was fun, right?
It's been man. It's fun.
Like, share, subscribe, and make sure to catch me and Jerry later on the Cowboys cast.
Yes, sir.
Look, this is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to send to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your friends, your enemies. Man, send to everybody. Just send the link. As long as they open it up, it's good for us,
and
man.
Go check out the latest podcast too, Marcel's Wiley.
Yeah,
man, go check that one out. That dude is awesome, man.
And we go check out the Cowboys cast. Go check out Detroit Lions Avenue. Look them up on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. They got some really great content out there. With that being said, again, thank you everyone out there for watching. Have a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes, sir.